Our next report could prove to be a nightmare for Russia's adversaries. The Russians are building a bomb, another bomb, one that could trigger nuclear tsunamis. They could wipe out entire cities, leaving behind toxic radioactivity. It does sound unbelievable. But Russia has more futuristic weapons in its arsenal, and it's working towards them. Take a look.
Imagine this. A nuclear bomb traveling through the sea undetected. It explodes, setting off a chain of radioactive waves.
Key is a new generation of superweapons like the Poseidon, a 120-mile-an-hour nuclear-propelled stealth torpedo. It's designed, say Russian officials, to sneak past US coastal defenses and detonate a warhead, causing a radioactive tsunami to hit the east coast with contaminated water.
The second angel poured out his bowl into the sea, and it became blood like that of a dead man. And every living thing in the sea died. Then the third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers and the springs of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters saying, Righteous are you, who are and who were, O Holy One, because you judge these things. For they poured out the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink. They deserve it. And I heard the altar saying, Yes, O Lord God the Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments. Revelation 16, 3-7. After the nuclear bombs ensue, then the 7 bowls of wrath shall be poured out. And the first bowl of wrath shall cause man's skin to ulcer and burn. And what is the second bowl of wrath to be poured out? As it says, the second angel poured out his bowl into the sea. And how shall this happen? The Russians have perfected an autonomous mega-nuclear drone called the Poseidon. The Poseidon is a nuclear-powered and nuclear-armed unmanned underwater vehicle developed by the Russian Federation that can deliver conventional and nuclear payloads. According to Russian state TV, it may be able to deliver a thermonuclear cobalt bomb of up to 100 megatons against enemies' naval ports and coastal cities. In 2018, the U.S. Nuclear Posture Review confirmed that Russia is developing a new intercontinental nuclear-armed, nuclear-powered, undersea autonomous torpedo. The Poseidon is designed to create a tsunami wave of up to 1,600 feet tall, which would contaminate a wide area on an enemy's coast with radioactive isotopes, as well as being immune to anti-missile defense systems such as anti-ballistic missiles, laser weapons, and railguns that might disable an ICBM or an SLBM. Wikipedia. The Poseidon bomb is in fact twice the size of the Tsar Bomba, the largest nuclear bomb ever created. And interestingly, Poseidon was the Olympian god of the sea and of all the earthquakes. And how shall this happen? The Russians have perfected an autonomous mega-nuclear drone called the Poseidon. The Poseidon is a nuclear-powered and nuclear-armed unmanned underwater vehicle developed by the Russian Federation that can deliver conventional and nuclear payloads. According to Russian state TV, it may be able to deliver a thermonuclear cobalt bomb of up to 100 megatons against enemies' naval ports and coastal cities. In 2018, the U.S. Nuclear Posture Review confirmed that Russia is developing a new intercontinental nuclear-armed, nuclear-powered, undersea autonomous torpedo. The Poseidon is designed to create a tsunami wave of up to 1,600 feet tall, which would contaminate a wide area on an enemy's coast with radioactive isotopes, as well as being immune to anti-missile defense systems such as anti-ballistic missiles, laser weapons, and railguns that might disable an ICBM or an SLBM. Wikipedia. What is the consequence of such a catastrophic bomb? As the prophecy says, the sea became blood like that of a dead man, and every living thing in the sea died. For the first underwater nuclear tests were done at the Marshall Islands. The largest explosion was detonated 90 feet underwater, nicknamed Castle Bravo, blasting a crater 2 kilometers wide in the coral reef and obliterating ocean life in the area. More than 60 years later, the island remains unlivable, according to a report from The Guardian in 2014. And one can only imagine the catastrophic consequence of a Poseidon bomb that is more than 6,000 times the power of this bomb. For as the prophecy reveals, every living thing in the sea died. And why does the sea turn into the blood of a dead man? For the blood of a dead man is congealed into a gel-like burgundy liquid. And with the Russian nuclear drone, there will be an upwelling of nutrients from the seabed floor. This causes a specific type of algae called dinoflagellates to flourish and overgrow so quickly that they will cause the coastal waters to turn into a burgundy gel-like liquid, hence the name red tide. These algae blooms release toxins that cause respiratory and neurologic illnesses in humans and other animals. Large fish and mammalian mortality has been attributed to the consumption of shellfish during these red tide algae blooms. Their growth can even make it difficult to breathe in the surrounding air. These toxins cause eye irritation, respiratory issues, asthma, can even kill a human. And what happens after this? Then the third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers and the springs of waters, and they became blood. And what was the first miracle that the sun performed on earth at the wedding? The sun turned the water into wine, John 2. And what is wine? Wine is the blood of the vine, for as the prophecy of Judas says, he washes his garments in wine and his robes in the blood of grapes. Genesis 49:11. And as we know, the true blood comes from the Son of Man. For as he said, he who eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him. John 6:53. And as Peter forewarned, no one can be judged without the blood of the Lamb, and hope to inherit the heavenly kingdom. If you address as the Father the one who impartially judges according to each one's work, conduct yourselves in fear during the time of your stay on earth, knowing that you were not redeemed with perishable things like silver or gold from your feudal way of life inherited from your forefathers, but with precious blood, as of a lamb, unblemished, spotless, the blood of Christ. 1 Peter 1:17 through 19. And our robes will be washed white with the blood of the Lamb, for as it says of the 1/3, these are the ones who come out of the great tribulation, and they have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Revelation 7:14. But what happens to the 2/3 who are left behind? For the Lamb offered us his blood at the Passover supper. When he had taken a cup and given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. Matthew 26:27. The Lamb then forewarned of the bloodshed at the end, for as he continued to say, but I say to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Matthew 26:27 through 29. And what is the fruit of the vine? Grapes. And what do we get from the grapes? Wine. And what does the wine represent? Blood. Yes, and the metaphor is this. For you drank wine, the blood of the grapes. Deuteronomy 32:14. As the prophecy says, so the angel thrust his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trampled outside the city, and blood came out of the winepress, up to a horse's bridle, for 1,600 furlongs. Revelation 14:19-20. And after this is revealed, the angel of the waters shall declare, Righteous are you, who are and who were, O Holy One, because you judge these things, for they poured out the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink. They deserve it. And just as the Lamb shall drink the blood of mankind, so shall the prophets and saints drink the blood of those who are left behind. And by this act of righteousness, the promises of the Lamb shall be fulfilled. For as we recall the prayers of the saints, how long, O Lord, holy and true, will you refrain from judging and avenging our blood on those who remain on the earth? Revelation 6:10. For righteous are you, and what is righteousness? Righteous comes from the Greek word dikaios, which means upright, righteous, virtuous, keeping the commandments of God. And this is the first command that God gave us, that we are to keep the commandments of God. For as Moses said to the people, See, I have set before you today life and prosperity, and death and adversity, and that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God may bless you in the land where you are entering to possess it. Deuteronomy 30:15-16. But as Moses forewarned, what if your heart turns away and you will not obey, but are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them? I declare to you today that you shall surely perish. Deuteronomy 30:17-18. For he is the God who are and who were, O Holy One. For he was and always shall be the Holy One. For the Holy One is the Alpha and the Omega. And the Holy One comes from the Greek word hosios, which means righteous. For he is the righteous one who shall recompense all of man's deeds. For even Pharaoh acknowledged this after the first plague. Then Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is the righteous one, and I and my people are the wicked ones. Exodus 9:27. And at the end, those who are righteous with the righteous one shall declare, Yes, O Lord God, the Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments. And woe to those who remain to be judged.